guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to do a no-item run for one of the two new Red Zone stages. Now, it is very bizarre. I can't really explain it. I mean, I guess it's kind of a thematic thing, what they're doing with the Mecha Freeze and King Cold stage, of sort of how weak it is. But this Metal Cooler stage, this is much closer to what we can sort of expect from traditional sort of Red Zone, like, difficulty level stages, right? So, this fight can be pretty tough. One of the big reasons why is the Cyclopean Guard right here. Actually has a massive super attack level of 750,000. So, this guy, I love the dodge right there. I believe my Vegeta and Trunks, they have like 9 dodge or 10 dodge or something like that. The reason for that is because they have an extra, they have the defense and dodge equip in their gold slot. But we dodged the super attack. That's good. That would have done several 100,000 damage, I believe. Although they did already build up a lot. But this guard, this little robot right here hits ridiculously hard, right? You do not want to get lulled to sleep by this little robot, man. He can slap you up, right? In, you know, my very first video in this stage, like, God Goku gets one-shotted by this dude, right? Like, he does a lot of damage, so you have to be, you know, one of these big-time units, because the thing about this guy, right, he does 750,000 damage on a super attack, but it's turn 1, right? It's not like, oh, we're gonna stack up with Namek Goku, or we're gonna use this other character, like, dude, like Tech Ultimate, Gohan would get clapped up right here. I mean, Namek Goku would get outright one-shot if he gets super attacked by this guard, but many characters in the game would. This is, I think, a lot more. The Mecha Freeze and King Cold fight is just sort of like, what? But this is a legitimate Red Zone fight right here. This is tough. You don't want to underestimate this little guard right here, for sure. Now, he does debuff you by 20%, right? He lowers your attack and defense by 20% for 3 turns. So you do have to keep that in mind, right? If he hits you with a super attack, you are losing defense. The other thing that this fight does, too, is it does have good type coverage, right? This guard is very difficult, right? He could do a lot of damage at the start, but if you try and go type advantage against him, that's not going to work, because Metal Cooler is essentially the final phase of Red Zone Broly, just he doesn't super attack twice, and you can dodge, right? So Metal Cooler in this fight is actually very similar to the final phase of Red Zone Broly. Their stats are really close. So it's like, you want to sort of keep that in mind. So many of the same characters and strategies you use against Broly, I feel like can work pretty well here, right? Like, if you take a look at this setup, this team we're bringing, this is essentially a team that we would use against Broly, right? And especially because we just have 2 phases here, right? The guard, who's physical, and then, you know, Metal Cooler, who of course is AGL. That means, like, if we're... Tech Gogeta is absolutely going to be one of the better units to use on this fight, because if we can get to turn 4 to where we're able to fuse, which, you know, this guard does do a lot of damage, so it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility that you get disintegrated by this guard turn 1 or something like that, right? But if you make it to turn 4, you're able to transform into Tech Gogeta, you get that Scouter, and you are really in business against Metal Cooler, especially because, again, Metal Cooler, he only can super attack once, right? He has 1 super attack per turn, you know, just like most bosses in the game, right? Besides, like, really nasty Red Zone Broly and then ridiculous Cell Max, who's very stupid. So right here we go. We get this off. This essentially is almost like we won, right? Like, the second this happens, the W is secured, because I've built our team full of characters who will not get wiped out by Metal Cooler with 1 shot, like, right? Like, we're not just going to get obliterated. With a Scouter in play, we're completely good to go against this Metal Cooler fight, right? So we don't really have anything to worry about. So, I mean, there it is. That's the video. We got Gogeta's Scouter out, right? Vegeta and Trunks continuing to stack up. Remember that God Goku is a complete sitting duck in this first phase. You really do not want to forget about that, right? That God Goku will get destroyed if he gets attacked here. We just really do not want to let that happen. Gogeta will be very good with the Scouter. What actually happens here, too, is we get the Scouter with Gogeta, and that is going to allow us, we get nullifications, or attack break, whatever you want to call it, with the LR Gods, right? The LR Gods, of course, just an incredible unit to bring into this stage where they have type advantage over Metal Cooler, right? You know, they've got their dodge, they got their attack break, but then we also have just outright got type advantage on this asshole as well, right? And then boom, this is definitely how you're supposed to utilize the Gods, LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, right? You know, LR Cooler, Carnival Goku, who have these types of abilities, is exactly like this, right? Notice, we see exactly where that super attack is, so boom, easy. It'll be easy for us to just cream pie that right out of existence, right? We just hits the Gods right there, bam. That's going to go ahead and get rid of that super attack. Now, I don't think they've actually fixed the issue, but randomly across one of these spots, the boss can decide to do nothing, right? Their action is literally doing nothing, and it's kind of like a ghost action, an invisible action. So it is possible, right, that is sort of right there first, and then you would nullify that. It's happened to me several times. It's very, very unfortunate when it happens. I believe they are going to fix that, or like remove that so it doesn't happen, because, you know, like this right here, it would be such a sour taste in my mouth if, like, we super attack right there, but then we nullify Metal Cooler doing nothing, and then he just slaps us with the Supernova anyway, right? Would be so annoying. Now, Metal Cooler, his SA damage is 1.26 million. So he is hitting very hard. He does, I believe he does actually hit slightly harder than Broly with his super attack, and Metal Cooler hits harder than Broly with his normals, too. Metal Cooler is at 450,000 for normal attacks, so he could do a lot of damage. Now, as you guys notice, Metal Cooler, like, we're doing a lot of damage to him rapidly, but he does have this other ability right here where he can heal, right? It looks like he recovers 13% HP every turn once he's under 90% HP. So that is definitely like a significant ability, I suppose, that he's got right there. But I don't know how big of a deal it, right? Because it's like, I just feel like a lot of these top tier characters, like, people are going to be running into this event with, again, the LR Gods, Carnival Goku, these types of units. Even though Metal Cooler can certainly heal, which can make the fight go on a little bit longer, I feel like it probably won't be common for you to, like, lose and be like, oh my god, it's because he healed, right? Like, that's not going to be often. It's just an extra little ability he does. I mean, looking at him just straight heal 7 million certainly is a huge number, right? But you should be able to out-damage Metal Cooler's healing. It's not like he's going to heal faster and we're going to go ahead and do damage to him. Now, Metal Cooler does also have another ability here. This is going to be the first time he's going to get to use it because we nullified or attack breaked it last turn. But Cooler does actually stack his defense with his super attack, but it doesn't, like, bosses increasing their defense is not going to do anything. Like, that also doesn't matter, right? And especially remember that crits completely ignore defense anyway. So if you get a crit and, like, a boss is stacking defense or raising their defense, it's just completely irrelevant, right? For bosses like this, if they're going to raise their defense on super attack, yeah, knock yourself out. The scarier effect for bosses is if they're raising their attack, like Full Power Frieza does. The first Wicked Bloodline Red Zone stage, that Frieza raises his attack with supers, which that can be a little bit scary, a little bit devastating to have to deal with, right? Because if that EGL Final Form Frieza gets several super attacks in, then he's really able to hit super hard, you know, once you get to that full Power Frieza section of the fight. So you do want to be careful, but there we go, right? This honestly was pretty easy. We're able to get a couple of nullifications in. This Metal Cooler, I think this definitely is a tough fight. That guard in phase 1 is gonna, like, lull a lot of people to sleep only to, like, one-shot them. He does a lot of damage turn 1, right? Like, that Cyclopean guard is actually one of the hardest hitting bosses in the game turn 1. Outside of, like, a Goku Family Extreme Super Battle Road enemy, or, like, Vegeta Family Extreme Super Battle Road enemy, right? Like, outside of something like that, like, this guard is insane. So you really don't want to sort of just, like, overlook his power, so... kind of an interesting set of Red Zone stages here. We have one piss easy one, literally, like, actually one of the easiest Red Zone stages and then Metal Cooler, which is actually a decently tough fight. I think this is a good level of difficulty to shoot out a bunch of fights about this level of difficulty with Metal Cooler. Right, Broly and I think Omega are harder than this fight right here. And then, of course, I do think that Cell Max, of course, is the toughest fight. But this is a good level, I think, to cycle in some fights. So Dokkan releasing a lot of content during this celebration. Let me know what you guys think of the no item run here on Red Zone Metal Cooler. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.